This tutorial shows how to resize a photo, an image in Photoshop. This is a necessary technique because many images are now used in different areas, such as on the web, on mobile devices, or on print. As this illustration shows, one image may be showing on a desktop computer, one on a tablet, and one on a phone. Some websites are resizing these images on their own. Most of them have to have multiple images posted in different sizes that then the particular application pulls from and shows properly in the proper size and format on that device. For that purpose, I imported a photo into Photoshop that we're going to resize. I imported it by File, Open, and then I selected a photo that came from a digital camera of photos that I took on a trip in Arizona near the Grand Canyon in the northern part of Arizona. Once I opened and imported that photo, I can see now here on the bottom left the percentage. The percentage is how I view the photo, how large I see it. I see it about at 16%. By changing that percentage, I can then see a photo closer or further up. So viewing a photo in different percentages is not the same than resizing. By selecting View, I can zoom in or zoom out or select a straight percentage. View, zoom out, view, zoom out. Depending whether you're on a Mac or a Windows-based computer, you also have here the keyboard shortcut command. Control plus or Control minus will also do this manually on the keyboard. I'm hitting Control minus, I'm hitting Control plus, and that basically allows me to view an image closer or further away. Again, not the same thing as resizing. This photo came off a digital camera, and depending on the resolution of the camera, each of photos that comes off a digital camera or a phone has a width and a height, a dimension. You can see that under Image and under Image Size. Right here you can see that this came off a digital camera that had a 4128 by 3222 height dimension. And that's the area under Image Size now where I can resize an image and make it smaller to fit on a certain space on a website or on a mobile device. So for example, as I'm looking at the Region University homepage, I can see that some images will have a larger dimension than other images, for example, that are down located here on the left or in the middle. And again, based on what my design needs are, I need to learn now, or I will show you, how to resize an image to fit a specific dimension. By selecting Image and Image Size, I can now type in here the new dimensions. For example, if I want that image to fit a space that's 1000 wide, pixels 1000, I now click OK, and that image now is resized down in its dimension to 1000 wide. Now, because I selected or kept that lock here, that left the height changed proportionally. So every time I change this number, the height will change proportionally. And that's important so the photo does not get distorted too wide or too high. It's also important that as we're working on the web and in print, I recommend always to work in pixels. Do not use any other measurements, which also would work, but pixels gives you the most accurate view and size of an image that is in the process of being resized. So this image now is resized to 1000. If I'm going to go half of that, 500, I can see how my height changes to 282. Or even if I go further down, create what's called a thumbnail image, that is only 100, then I can see now that this went down to 56. So let's say for whatever reason I need to create two images, one that is 1000 pixels wide and one that is 300 pixels wide of the same photo. I'll go to Image, Image Size, change my 4100, set to pixels here, to 1000. The height changed by itself because I left the proportion chain link here on. Keeps the same aspect ratio, which is important. I click on OK, and you can see now how that photo got much smaller, but I'm also seeing it at a small percentage, so I'm increasing it to see it a little bit at a normal percentage, like 50%. And now at this point, I'm going to save this image as the 1000 pixel version, and I can do that in different ways. Under File, I can click Save As, and then just select here, leave it at JPEG, and then select here a different file name. I can call this one 1000 gas station. That would be a way that I can save this now as a 1000, and I'm using the word 1000, so when I look at these images in my folders, I know this is the 1000 or the 500 or the 300 version. I can also use File, File, Export, and then As. That brings up a submenu that allows me to make some further adjustments to an image if I wanted to. I see here the image size. I can change the quality if I wanted to reduce the quality, to reduce then also the actual what's called a file size, which is shown here. Lower or file size, less file size will cause an image to load faster if the internet connection happens to be slow, for example. And it allows me to then export it here. JPEG is selected because here I selected JPEG. I can also export it as a GIF or as a PNG. SVG is much less known, but all of these top three are web conformed formats that will show properly on a mobile device or also on a website. And in this case, JPEG, export, and here again I'm in the save menu and I can save this one a little bit different, 1000 station. And so now I have a 1000 version of this photo. I can now go back, image size, and let's say change it down to a 300, click OK. Again, I could just file Save As or Export As. Visually check, it's 300. I could change the quality if I wanted to. It all depends if that's necessary. Generally want to leave that. And you can see because of the smaller size, how small the file size of the photo has gone. I click Export All, name this one 300 station. And so I have now, from the original size, two smaller sizes, 1000 pixels wide and a 300 pixels wide version of the same photograph. And when I check that in my file folder where I saved these images, and I would encourage you get into a very good habit of saving images for any art, design, web, print work in good folder system, even for this class, so you can find your images, you can bring them back up and post them if necessary. You can see here the 300 station version and the 1000 station version. If I click on this, you can see the small size, and if I click on this, you can clearly see a larger size of the same image. And this concludes an overview of the resizing process in Photoshop that is a necessary skill set in order to adapt images or resize images that need to go to certain sizes and locations on websites or also on mobile devices such as phones or tablets. Thank you for watching.